All right, I'm pretty sure it's working. So,
Did you mute us?
I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. Let's try it again. All right, I think everybody's muted now. All right, so take a comfortable cross-legged seated posture, and we'll start with some nadi shodhana pranayama, some alternate nostril breathing. So, as you find your comfortable cross-legged posture, I like being up on a bit of height, especially at the beginning of the class, so that my pelvic rim is at or above the level of my knees. Everybody's different on that. So I need quite a bit of height to get that. You know, others can just sit flat on the floor and be just fine. But in any case, then you kind of separate the skin and muscles of the buttock, separate the sit bones themselves, get a nice, alert, open, seated posture on the floor or your prop, whatever that might be. And then the torso lifts, chest open, you know, no kind of slouching, you know, keep the outer deltoids back, keep the inner edge of the shoulder blades moving in, so you keep that nice, open, expanded chest. And then, of course, we do the finger, the digital position, the middle finger and the pointer finger together would either be on the third eye position or on the bridge of the nose. And then the thumb is on the cartilagey part of the right nostril. And then the pinky and ring finger together on the left side of the nostril. So as we use the finger pressure, the digital pressure to open and close one side or the other, you want to use the minimal amount of pressure necessary just to stop that flow of air through one side or the other. And the movement of the breath you want to have in a very narrow stream, so that really the first place that you touch the breath is at the base of the back of the throat. So theoretically, you don't use or feel the breath through the nostrils. You only feel it and are aware of it as it touches the back of the throat. And the same with the exhale. As you exhale, the last place that breath touches is the base of the back of the throat. Now, in doing this, you can do it with the chin in Jalandhara Bandha, with the head tilted down, or you can keep it lifted up if that's too much for you. The left hand, of course, can either be in a, say, Jnana Mudra, or just in a Vipassana meditation place in your lap, whatever works for you. So we'll begin, and I'll guide us through a few rounds, and then you can go on your own for a few. So take the hand positions. Keep that upright posture so that even if you move into Jalandhara Bandha, you don't round your back. You just tilt the chin down and lift the chin up. Eyes closed. Breathe through both nostrils. All right, and then we'll begin with a full inhale through both nostrils. Full exhale through both nostrils. Close the right, inhale left. Close both and hold. Open right, exhale. Close and hold. Open right, inhale. Close and hold. Open left, exhale. Close and hold. Open left, inhale. Close and hold. Open right, exhale. Close and hold. Open right, inhale. Close and hold. Open left, exhale. Close and hold. Open left, inhale. Close and hold. Open right, exhale. Close and hold. Open right, inhale. Close and hold. Open left, exhale. Close and hold. Open left, inhale. Continue on your own. After your next hold, after exhale on the left side, return to normal breathing. And then we'll take Supta Baddha Konasana. So use the full prop setup. So we'll have a bolster, blanket or something under the head, belt, and blocks under the thighs. So if you're using a belt, then this goes low and back and over the feet. And then you pull in so that the Now just hold your legs in bound angle pose passively. And then you lie back. Block under each thigh, positioning them to make it comfortable for yourself. So this is not like your full open bound ankle posture. It's supported and it allows you to just lie in the pose comfortably for a period of time. And as you're here, let the breath settle, let the breath quiet, and just practice that same breath, not the interrupted breath, the nadi shodhana, but that same very narrow stream of the breath, moving in the nostrils, but really first touching at the base of the back of the throat and exiting the same way. So just move into a quiet, calm, easy breath in that fashion. And now with as little disturbance as possible, take your blocks out from under your thighs and bring your bolster around in front. Take your legs up onto the bolster and then again into Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. This version is generally more comfortable on the low back, but a little more intense on the groin as it's less support in the groin. But then again, as you lie back, return to that quiet, calm, even breath. All right, and then we'll gently stir from this. You can remove your belt perhaps to come out of the pose in a way that's comfortable for you. And then we'll go into Supta Baddha or Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So for this one, I'm going to adjust my props a little bit here. So we'll have a bolster or a stack of blankets as you may be able to do. We sit on the end, one end of the bolster, and then kind of drag ourselves off just to the point where the shoulders can hit the floor. And then extend the legs out straight and let the legs fall out away to the sides. Or if your low back is not comfortable with that, you can keep your knees bent. This is also fine. I'm going to go with my legs extended straight. And then you allow gravity to pull you down in and to effectively shape your upper body to nicely lifted and open chest. Allow the shoulders to settle down into the floor, and then go right back into that quiet, even breath. All right, so gently begin to stir from this position. You can, I like to come out by lifting up off the bolster and shoving it out of the way and resting my sacrum down onto the floor for just a few breaths. And then rolling to my side and pushing up. And now we'll do everyone's favorite reclining posture. Then we're going to take your belt again, and we'll do one version or another of Supta Baddha Padmasana, supine bound lotus pose. Now, if a lotus pose isn't in the cards for you, of course, you'll have options of doing half lotus or cross-legged posture. Have your bolster or something nearby. So the way it looks is, I think all of you are familiar, but let me just demonstrate. Take my legs into lotus pose, and then I can use the belt like so, tighten it. And this does two things. One, it holds my legs and feet in position passively, but it also takes you in the direction of improving, in a way, your Padmasana by bringing your knees closer to each other, which tends to push the feet out. So you get a more compact and cross-legged pose. So I'm going to turn this way, and then I'm going to not use that, but others may. So then I lie back, supine. And of course, as you can see, as you all know, I can do this pose quite well. I get really flat out onto the floor, but not everyone can. So if your legs are up like so, feel free to put a bolster or something underneath, however you may wish. Something like this is fine. So go ahead, use that, and if the bound lotus isn't working for you, you can do just a simple cross-legged posture, or you can do half lotus. But one way or the other, take another cross-legged supine posture. And again, once you're there, move into that nice, quiet, even breath. Your hands can either be folded across your chest or abdomen, or off to the sides on the floor, palms up. So now if you've just kind of gotten yourself into position, feel free to stay. But if you've been in for a little while, then it's time to go ahead and switch to the other side. So as you may find appropriate, switch when you feel it necessary. But the idea is that the halfway point through the holds, you switch to the opposite side. All right, and then go ahead and ease your way up and out of that pose. So this next one then calls for two bolsters or two bolster-like things. So if you have enough props to do it, we'll do cross bolsters. If you don't, then go back to Supta Baddha Konasana, supine bound angle pose. But if you can, do the cross bolster, again, either with two bolsters or with one bolster and some blankets or some structure essentially like this one. So some kind of thing like that is what we want. And then we'll do a version of Dvipada Viparita Dandasana, which is a two-footed inverted staff pose. So this is the one where we lie back, bring the elbows to the floor, and rest down into the pose like so. So it's a fully supported, two-footed inverted staff pose. And once you're there, then once again, go into that quiet breath. And let's stir from that before we lose each other completely. You can kind of roll off or come up sternum first. That felt quite comfortable. I could have stayed there for a while. Remove the bolsters out of the way. And we'll take a book or a block to sit on, and we'll take Virasana, hero pose. So the block is underneath your sit bones. Whatever height you may need. If you need 2 blocks, that's fine. You can sit on whatever height you need. But sit on a height, and then sit upright. So as you know, in Virasana, hero pose, we bring the feet back to the sides of the hips. So we want to have the whole length of the top, from the top of the foot and top of the toes, through the shins to the knees on the floor. Now, of course, the natural shape of the shins, they don't flat, there's a curvature there, so they're not flat on the floor. But the shins are moving down. Tops of the feet are moving down. The thighs are moving down. The torso lifts up, the chest open. So as you lift the torso, take the floating ribs back just a bit and the skin and muscles of the buttocks down. So it maintains the natural curve of the low back, the lumbar spine, but it's not excessive. It's moderated a little bit. And we keep the spine lifting, the chest open. Underside of the chin parallel to the floor and a soft gaze forward. And then we'll just do a little bit of a twist. Take the left hand to the right knee. Take the right hand behind you, fingertips on the floor. Inhale, lift the torso, open the chest. Exhale, twist right. And return to center. And then right hand on left knee, left hand behind. Inhale, lift, open the chest. Exhale, twist left. And back to center. And then one more time to each side. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind, lift, open the chest, inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. So you can use a little arm strength as leverage to help you twist, but also just to hold you steady and stable in the twist that you have. And back to center. Actually, another name for standing pose is samastiti. And samastiti basically means steady and stable. I tend to think of all yoga poses as samastiti. So that's kind of the idea, is get to a place where you can be steady and stable in any of the poses. So now, right hand on left knee, left hand goes behind. Inhale, lift, open the chest. Exhale, twist left. Use a little arm strength to leverage yourself into a good twist. And then hold yourself there in that samasthiti. And back to center. All right, we'll take away the block and we'll take back the bolster. And downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, with your forehead resting on the bolster. So something like so. If you need more height, you can use more height. If you can't get your forehead to rest, don't worry about it. Just do downward dog. Arms and legs extended straight. Allow your forehead resting on the prop to bring a certain calm, supported, again, samasthiti place. And even your mental activity can quiet as you rest your forehead on the prop. And now downward facing hero, Adho Mukha Virasana. Big toes touch, knees apart, sit back on your heels, bring your bolster in close enough to where it will support your abdomen, and then rest down onto the bolster. Let your weight sink into the bolster. And then back to downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Again, resting the forehead if you can.
And then walk yourself into a standing forward bend. And then inhale and come up.
Be careful if you're a little lightheaded. We'll move the props out of the way. And now, if you have it available, you'll want to use your wall space. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this. The next thing is Adho Mukha Vrikshasana, downward facing tree pose or handstand. Now, for people who may watch this recorded without having done this before, you may not want to do it. You may want to just kind of do one of the alternatives that I'm going to demonstrate. So the first alternative is to simply do downward dog with your heels on the wall. So this is a good alternative. If you're not ready for a handstand, this is perfectly good. If you're okay with the handstand or going that way, you walk your hands in a little closer and you bring one leg up, like so. So it's a one-legged handstand. To the other side, it's like so. So it's simple enough and it's safe, you know, pretty much a comfortable way to do without, you know, any risk of falling down or anything. Now, if you wish to try with the full handstand, you bring yourself into this tight downward dog, one leg up, two legs up, and you've got your Adho Mukha Vrikshasana. You save some strength so you can come down under control, and then the second time you go up with the alternative leg first, like so. So that's the idea. So you can choose which version you want. If you don't want to do a handstand of any kind, you do downward dog. If you're comfortable with it, you start with downward dog and do it one-legged. And then if you want to go forward with the full pose, you can go with both legs. And if you don't have a wall, you simply do downward dog. And you can also do it in a way like so, where you're doing downward dog, and then you can just bring one leg up and just begin to get a feel for the pose. So the wall is not necessary, and those are the alternatives. So one way or the other, go ahead and take downward dog. So if downward dog is where you're going to stay, then you're good. If you're looking to go a little further into the pose, then you bring your hands in close so it's a very tight downward dog and take one leg up the wall. If you're doing the full pose, you take the second leg up. Again, save some strength so you can come down under control. If you're doing it one leg at a time, then come down to downward dog and switch and bring the other leg up. So stay within yourself. Do what you're comfortable with. Hold your full pose, whatever your full pose is today, just as long as you can maintain the strength to come down under control. Take a few breaths and go again, as you wish. Give it two or three tries into your full pose. Again, whatever your full pose is. All right, and then bring that to a conclusion after your next inverted posture. And then we'll return to a comfortable cross-legged seated posture, sitting again on some height. And we'll do Ujjayi pranayama. After the Ujjayi pranayama, there's one more pose I want to do before we do Shavasana. So go ahead and find your comfortable cross-legged posture. Crossing your legs the opposite way from what we did earlier would be good, because then you get the balance, the symmetry of doing the crossed legs to each the dominant and the less dominant side. So then we sit upright on our props or on the floor if you wish. Separate skin and muscles of the buttocks, separating the sit bones, kind of exposing the perineum to the floor, to the prop. Taking either Ujjayi, the Jhana Mudra, or the Vipassana posture. I keep threatening to demonstrate more carefully the Yoni Mudra, but I'm going to pass on that again today. So take whatever hand posture mudra you wish. Lift the torso, open the chest, take the floating ribs back, skin and muscles of the buttocks down. Torso keeps lifting, chest is open from the center out to the left and right, so the outer deltoids continue to move back. No slouching. Lift the chest up toward the chin and take the chin down toward the chest in Jalandhara Mudra. And as we've gone over in the class at other times, Mula Bandha is the base energy lock where we engage the central perineal tendon. Basically, we want to engage and then lift the pelvic floor. Uddiyana Bandha is where we draw the navel back toward the spine. And if you can create a vacuum as you do it, then that pulls the abdomen back. And there's a flying up, an energetic flying up from the base of the pelvis up into the heart center. And that's really what Ujjayi means, is flying up breath, the moving of the energy up, where it's then held in position with the Jalandhara Bandha and amplified in this heart center, and then allowed to move up through the other chakras into the crown of the head. So take a nice upright posture. Take your Jalandhara Bandha, lifting the chest, taking the chin toward the chest, keeping the spine upright and extended. Breathe comfortably, evenly through both nostrils, eyes closed. And again, I'll talk you through a few rounds, and then you can do a few on your own. If you find yourself getting agitated or a little lost in the breath, just go back to normal breathing and then rejoin if you wish when you're ready. All right, let's take a full inhale through both nostrils. Lift, expand, open the chest. Exhale, complete full exhale. And then inhale, lift, open, expand the chest. Hold, engage Mula Bandha. So engage that central perineal tendon, a lifting, an engagement and lifting in the pelvic floor. Keep that lift as you exhale. Keeping Mula Bandha, add Uddiyana as you hold the breath. So draw the navel in and up. Release those bandhas and inhale. Hold, engage Mula Bandha. Keep Mula Bandha as you exhale. Hold, add Uddiyana Bandha. Release the bandhas, inhale. Hold, engage Mula Bandha. Keep Mula Bandha as you exhale. Hold, engage Uddiyana. Release the bandhas. Exhale. Sorry, I think I got that confused. Anyway, releasing the bandhas. Inhale. Hold, engage Mula Bandha. Exhale. Hold, engage Uddiyana. Release the bandhas. Inhale. Hold, engage Mula Bandha. Keep Mula Bandha as you exhale. Hold, engage Uddiyana Bandha. Release the bandhas. Inhale. And continue on your own for a couple more sessions. After your next exhale, hold after exhale. Return to normal breathing. And then the final pose before Shavasana is a version of Matsyendrasana, Lord of the Fish pose. So let me demonstrate how this version works. You're going to want to block, and I'm going to use both books, so it's more like a block height. So the pose is going to look, and I'm going to do this in full lotus, but you can do it in any cross-legged posture you wish. But as you can see, this kind of forms like a fishtail kind of looking shape. So I think that's what that's for. Then you lie back on your blocks, so they're between your shoulder blades. And then there's room, you can use a blanket or not, so that you get the crown of the head, or close to the crown of the head, on the floor. So it's like so. And if you wish, you can bring your arms overhead. So for people who have neck issues, bringing your hands overhead may not be the thing. And if you have neck issues, you may wish to use a blanket. So it's less extreme. So this is fine like so. So this is the basic structure. And then from here, we're going to go right into Shavasana. So what we'll do is we'll release the legs, we'll take the blocks away, and we'll just stretch out into Shavasana after Matsyendrasana. So take whichever version of Matsyendrasana works for you. We won't be here long. but get a good, nice, open structure. All right, so ease your way up from here. Take your blocks away. Release your legs from the cross-legged posture. Extend them out. Have a bit of height under your head. And just let go into Shavasana. Follow the breath now into a quiet, perhaps even still place. Energetic yet calm, quiet and still. Again, samastiti. Now take a few slightly deeper breaths. Bring awareness back into fingers and toes. Let your eyes open. Bring your hands to your abdomen or torso. Bend your knees and roll to your side. Take a few more breaths here. And then gently push to a seated posture. All right, thank you all for coming. I'll turn off the recording.